I'm Giulio Ceppi. I've been trained as a visual designer, and then I took a degree as an architect, and then I had a PhD in industrial design. So I always quote that I'm very confused because I don't know exactly what I am, because I'm a sort of creative bastard somehow, no? Having different discipline into my blood, and I created a Total Tool, which is a place-based to run interdisciplinary and complex project in which design is a tool. It's a way to manage complexity and creativity that sometimes are very much more similar than what we believe. So, some years ago, the Triennale here in Milan, which is an important design institution, for a big exhibition on design, asked me to try to explain what hell I'm doing, because they look at me as a strange guy. They don't understand exactly what I'm doing. They understand I'm related to design, but also to me sometimes it's not easy to explain. So it was a good question, and it was very useful to understand and to make a little bit of psychologist of myself. So I came up with this approach, because this is not a formula, this is not a recipe, it's an approach, and I call it the grape harvest approach, because like in winemaking, you have to be very careful in very different steps. So the wine is not the design of the glass bottle or the glass you drink the wine, but it's a yearly long process in which you start from the field and you go into very, very different steps, and then maybe at the end you get a good result. So design is very similar to this, according to me. And normally, as designer and architects, we are used to start from the end, because you expect physically to deliver, and also I have this part inside myself, a concrete solution, something solid, and to have your product there. But in order to do this today and to be successful, you need to be a little bit more patient and let's say long-term viewing. And graphic design has much more culture than not industrial design, because big corporate identity manual, big project in corporate profile were always based on designing rules and grammars and single factors to be compounded and to be, let's say, applied in time, and maybe with some flexibility and some updates and so on. Instead, in design and also in architecture, we have a different, and you know this better than me, approach, because you want to grab the solution and you want to build your small monument sometimes, no? Especially we as architect, now I put also the hat of the architect, you want to have your building finished and then it's done. Instead, for example, in architecture, it's very important to understand not only from an energetical point of view, that today it's fundamental, so technology, but also business, because if you use clean energy, this will affect your business and the way you spend the money for the facility management or the energy management of a building. But new is not innovation, it's new, so it's something different. So innovation requires time, skills, knowledge, and a vision. And then before going to the final deliver, because that's in the blood of the designer, I want to do it, no? I want to get it, I want to run, I want to arrive to my solution. I believe instead it's very important to create a scenario, or let's say an open field of potential solution, and then in time and with continuity you are able to pick up the best solution, because today it's very difficult to intend solution and innovation as something turnkey, that that's the solution. No, okay, maybe you have different solution for different countries, or you have a solution which is running now, but maybe in 6 months it's already out of the market. So solution and innovation, it's a continuous process, no? So Total Tool is for this, for handling, managing, supporting design as a process, okay, trying to change reality, but also to produce reality, no? Because it's not a snapshot, it's not a picture design, it's about transformation. So that's something different maybe from the classical Italian approach, where the designer, you imagine the designer like in an ivory tower, tack, I got the idea, you make a sketch, you deliver this to some entrepreneur, boom, and you got your product. Oh, yes, that was the golden age of the 60s, of the 70s, when the design in Milan grew up, but now it's a different season. You don't go to Cantu, which is 50 kilometers from here. I have to go tomorrow to Chengdu. That sounds very similar, but is 50,000 kilometers from here, no? What I'm happy is that I'm not a specialist. I'm not close into furniture design or service design, but we can move very freely, and we have a very different kind of customer and clients worldwide, and I will never do twice the same thing, and that's exciting for me, because everything you have to learn something new. Then okay, you have your antennas, your sensibility, and then everything maybe is connecting somehow, no? Because you can learn from fashion, and then you can bring this into electronics, or maybe you see something in the food sector that maybe you can carry in the automotive market, because the approach today is fundamental, no? Is the way you transfer your sensibility into different fields. Fine, part one, boom, dot. But technology is not enough. You can't sell only a technology. That's something necessary, but it's not enough. You need a cultural vision, and you need to explain the reason of this. So what we have been working around is design, because at the end we have to design some technical products, something like an onboard unit that you stick in your car, and maybe something which is part of the public system, because become a urban furniture also, if this is an expression that I don't like at all, but something that will be part of the environment of your city, because you have to put cameras and system to track. But okay, these are just two products. The problem is why I should again do this, and what is the impact of this on my life. And we have to have a very different approach in terms of design, where design is communication, is service, is product shaping, but all this together in a unique and integrated vision, no? So for example, with this approach, very human-centric, we went to a big technological fair in London, where they had to present their approach to all the city government in the world. And we organized, for example, a fashion show, where we asked a student of the fashion program of Domus Academy to design a dress inspired by our research on material, color, shape, typical of each city. So we start from architecture to design a fashion collection, but to explain that people are first, that we design all this technology and we limit the number of cars because we want a better air quality, we want to breathe. So maybe, you know, in Italy we have a beautiful glasses chair, but then if I go out and if I can't breathe, or if I get the cancer because I have beautiful things but the air is very bad, this is a very important design issue to me. So aesthetics is important, but then you have some qualities that maybe it's impossible to say, what are you designing? Quality of air. All this project is in Milan, but the same in Dubai, or in London, or in Shanghai, or in Sydney. I know that in Canada you have a different and smarter approach to this question, probably, and you have a different political environment approach. But here in Europe, our cities are very old, very congestionated, a lot of traffic jam, everything based on car. So we have this small technology-driven company to change their approach to the market. Maybe before all these people are, say, the relevant stuff. we can have hundreds of ideas if we start brainstorming now. Then the problem is to transfer the idea into reality and to nurture the ideas in time, and to make your ideas not to become old or out of the market in 3 weeks or in 5, because today everything goes too quickly and too fast, no? But as I like in English the expression nurture, really to give to your idea like a baby the chance to grow and to be consistent in time, no? And in order to do this, you have to work on a lot on this step, on brand and design requirements and guidelines, innovation tools, design strategies, which are not empty formulas, but which are, let's say, the understanding of complexity in order to manage creativity in time. That is our approach and our way of making design. And if you can do this, you can work in very different fields, in very different situations. So interaction is important if you can understand this, no?